First Coast's most accurate forecast from the First Coast News Weather Team, certified by Weather Rate, sponsored by AC Designs.
Good evening, folks. I am meteorologist Ross Mumal. We have been tracking this line of showers, downpours, and even a few isolated thunderstorms here pretty much all afternoon and now continuing into the evening. The good news is that the line is not only kind of breaking up a little bit, but also really just diminishing in intensity. That's something we expected. There was a low-level jet kind of keeping those storms a little bit stronger as they first moved through portions of Ware and Pierce and Brantley counties, even northern Charlton County earlier this afternoon. But the further east into the southeast, this whole line has moved. A lot of these have started to just kind of fizzle on out. So we'll take the rainfall. We need it. We've only gotten about a 4/100th of an inch so far here in February. That's well over an inch below average. And really no severe storms with any of these. The strongest storms only brought wind gusts upwards of about 38, 39 miles per hour. Mayport had a 38 mile per hour gust. So most of these really didn't pack a punch. You saw a few heavy downpours here or there, and they kind of just moved out just as quickly as they came on in. So here is what we have left throughout the remainder of this evening, and really just kind of two separate waves of moisture and some diminishing or dissipating showers here, one of which is moving through St. Johns County, headed towards St. Augustine, so expect some rain there within about the next 5 to 10 minutes. Palatka also seeing some rain, so this will begin to move offshore within the next 30 minutes. And then the second wave, still a little bit further back to the northwest, also quickly weakening, is moving through portions of the Okefenokee, Charlton County, up into Brantley County as well. So this will make its way towards Camden and Glen, likely within about the next 30 to 60 minutes. But again, pretty light rain will be on the way there. But our temperatures this afternoon were quite warm. Gainesville hit a record high of 88 degrees. Jacksonville hit 86 degrees. Now 20 degrees cooler than that once the cold front and the rain came on through. So many of us are now sitting in the 60s, a few spots still in the low 70s. But really, if you just look at the winds, that depicts very nicely where that cold front is set up. So pretty much right on the southern edge of Alachua County through this pretty much the center of Putnam County, and then kind of bends around Flagler County there. So this is all now moved south of I-10, south of the Jacksonville area, and we do expect it to stall out overnight tonight and into tomorrow morning. So we'll discuss that here in a little bit. But it also really provided us with just some great views. This was a time lapse that meteorologist Robert Spetta, who's been on here a couple times earlier today, he put the drone up, and you can kind of see the separate levels of clouds, the different levels of clouds, and that's really just the wind shear. So the winds at the surface were moving out of the northwest, whereas the winds aloft were moving up out of the south. So just kind of a cool video to show you the different levels and dynamics within the atmosphere itself as the front rolled on through. And then what you saw afterwards, some beautiful rainbows. This is from our sports reporter, Ashley Gonzalez. Her and Shaz Parani, they're down reporting in Daytona, getting ready for all of Speed Week, but specifically for the Daytona 500 this coming Sunday. They sent us this photo here of a nice-looking rainbow over the speedway earlier this evening. So the remainder of tonight, we'll still see a few light showers. They'll wrap up by about 9 p.m. this evening. And then tomorrow, we'll see some early morning sun with temperatures in the 50s, but really by about lunchtime and then through much of the afternoon, you're going to see the clouds build back in. So I mentioned the front's going to stall out just to our south, and because of that, that's going to drag in a little bit more moisture and all of those low clouds through the afternoon. So watch it as it builds in from east to west throughout the afternoon, continuing into the evening. We might even see a few isolated light showers, or really just kind of a fine mist and drizzle make its way inland, especially across southern St. Johns, Flagler County, and potentially even into western Putnam County as well. So I think all of us have about a 20 to 30% chance of rain who live up and down the I-95 corridor, but slightly better chance for at least a little bit of some extra dampness down in that southeastern corner of the First Coast. Not only will we have the clouds and the cooler temperatures in the 60s, but also quite windy. Wind's going to be cranking in anywhere from 25 to even 30 mile per hour gusts out at the beaches. Many of us will at least experience winds 15 to 20 miles per hour throughout the day. So it's going to be feeling about 30 degrees colder tomorrow compared to what it felt like today. So although I heard some folks say, it felt like either spring or even an early summer, winter is still going to be around here. It's going to feel like the upper 50s through most of tomorrow. Here's just a quick look kind of at what those rain chances were that I had just mentioned. So up and down the I-95 corridor, all of us will see at least those low clouds. Might see a little bit of some just light drizzle and a fine mist make its way through, but really it's going to be from St. Augustine south that has the best chance to see just a few light showers, primarily after lunchtime through the afternoon and then even into the evening hours, as our temperatures locked into the 60s nearly all day tomorrow. Now, as you look ahead to the weekend, we rebound pretty quickly. So the winds shift direction yet again, now out of the south and southeast come Saturday. So that'll help our temperatures warm up into the upper 70s, even close to near 80 degrees. And then we're still going to be warm on Sunday, but we do also have a chance for some rain and storms to make their way in. So here's breaking it down for you a little bit. There you can see the winds surging up out of the south. So that'll not only warm us up, it'll also increase the low-level moisture and the humidity. So it's going to feel a little bit muggy, a little bit humid throughout the day on Saturday. That could give rise to just a few isolated showers through the late afternoon and early evening Saturday afternoon. So again, only about a 20 to 30% chance of rain on Saturday. But then here comes our next storm system, and likely a more potent or stronger front making its way towards the first coast right around really lunchtime on Sunday. So we're going to break it down on what we expect the timing to be kind of county by county here in just a little bit. But because we do expect a strong storm system that could potentially bring even a few severe thunderstorms, we have issued a weather impact alert for Sunday. This is primarily through the late morning, continues through at least the early afternoon, if not even until about 4 to 5 p.m. come Sunday. Widespread rain, and of course we'll watch for a few of those stronger storms that could bring some severe wind gusts upwards of 50 to 60 miles per hour. And although the tornado risk for the time being does look low, it is not zero. So we'll also look for an isolated tornado risk as well. And the exact severe weather threat and risk and chances, that'll all be fine-tuned much more as we get closer and closer to Sunday, as you get more of the data to come on in, and we'll get a little bit better of an idea of what the threat is really looking like. But at least rain and storm timing-wise, here is kind of a estimated breakdown based on what we're seeing right now. So similar to today, the front's going to move in out of the northwest, reaching our far northern counties in southeast Georgia. So northern Ware, Pierce, Brantley, and even northern Charlton County, from Folkston up to Waycross. As early as 11 a.m., you could start to see some rain and some storms rolling on through. I do think southeast Georgia will have the best chance to see some of those stronger to, if not severe, storms. The main wave of energy is going to pass well off to our north, and really North and South Carolina. So we're going to be on the tail end of really the strongest portion of the entire storm system. So I do think areas further south will see weaker storms, whereas the further north you have a better potential or better chance to see some stronger storms. So initially moving in just before lunchtime, even mid-morning on Sunday there for our northern areas. For the Jacksonville area, likely after lunch. So maybe you're heading out to church or something, or coming back from a brunch or just a Sunday lunch with some friends or family. Likely by about 1 to 2 p.m. seems to be the best time frame for when we could see, at least at the earliest, this line of storms and showers to make their way in. And then a little later from that, about 2 to 6 p.m. will be the time window for much of St. Johns County, Putnam, and Flagler County as well. And that does also include Daytona Beach. The Daytona 500 going on this weekend. It does look like the storms will hold off at least for the race to begin. So I do expect the green flag to be waved at 2:30 when the race is supposed to start. It's going to be windy, warm, pretty muggy and humid down there. But the cold front will arrive at some point within the afternoon, potentially as early as 3 o'clock, but it could be 3:30, even 4 p.m. So I do expect at least a portion of the race to get in. Maybe it's 50 laps, maybe it's 75, 80 laps, whatever it may be. But we then do expect some rain to move in through the late afternoon and even into the early evening. So don't be surprised if there's some sort of weather delay or pause in the race. And they might have to put the dryers out there. So that's going to kind of be just a fluid situation that the racetrack's going to have to watch. And of course, we're going to be watching here as well to see how that may be impacted if you're planning on going down to Daytona for the race this coming Sunday. But between Sunday and another system on the way next Wednesday, we have some pretty solid, just kind of soaking rains on the way. It's, as I mentioned before, it has been very dry here through the first, 13 days of February. So we picked up a little bit of rain, some isolated higher amounts today, closer to about 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch. But by this time next week, many folks inland Southeast Georgia are going to be talking about 2 to even 3 inches of rain. For Jacksonville, anywhere from 1 to 2 inches of rain over the next week. So some beneficial rain for anyone who's got some plants already, planted, any of our gardeners out there. But any of those plants that you may have planted, you might have to bring them back in. As I had said, winter is not over, although it's going to be a warm and humid weekend, feeling more so like April and May here across the First Coast. Once that front rolls on in Sunday afternoon and evening, behind it then a huge drop in temperatures. These are going to be our future real field temperatures. So Monday morning is going to be President's Day. The kids might be off of school. Real field temperatures in the mid to upper 30s, pretty much from northern Duval north and northwest. So Waycross, real field is going to be in the mid 30s. Further south, going to be feeling like the low 40s for many of you. But our actual high temperatures then on Monday, a lot of us, especially along the coast, going to be stuck in the 50s. So we got a warm weekend and then about a 20 to even 25 degree temperature drop from Sunday into your Monday next week. So kind of a wave of just, or a roller coaster of temperatures here over the next week. So tomorrow, chilly, breezy. You're going to have those low clouds. We'll watch for some light drizzle to sneak on in, especially across those coastal areas in St. Johns and Flagler counties. Saturday, you look to warm up pretty well. Might just see 1 or 2 isolated showers by the afternoon. And then Sunday is really going to be the big day. We've got an 80% chance for not only rain, but some thunderstorms, some of which could be strong to severe. So we're going to continue to fine-tune that forecast specifically for Sunday so that you can be prepared for what to expect. And of course, we'll have more updates right here on FCN Plus over the next couple of days to just kind of get you ready for that. Behind it then, Monday, dry skies, but it's going to be very chilly. I believe the Martin Luther King Jr. Day parade here in Jacksonville got rescheduled for Monday. So I think that's still a go, but it's still going to be quite the cool, chilly morning for any parade goers there come Monday morning. And then after that, yes, we do rebound a little bit back up into the upper 60s. But it looks like about every 3 to even 4 days, we're going to have another front, another wave of energy and moisture and potential storms making their way towards the First Coast. So pretty significant pattern change from the first half of February, where we were pretty sunny, dry, warm. The back half of February looking much more active. You're going to see much more, larger fluctuations in your high temperatures every afternoon. You're going to see much more, rain and storm chances in the forecast. And Wednesday looks like it's going to be one of those days as well that we could see widespread, steady rainfall, some thunderstorms potentially next week. So we got a lot going on here over the next 7 days. Andy, do we have any questions? No questions to be answered? Alrighty, well then, Tim Deegan, he will have an update on First Coast News coming up at 7 p.m. I'll have an update on here, FCN Plus, and on First Coast News at 11 p.m. tonight. So hopefully you can tune in then for another update on what we are expecting, not only tomorrow, but especially into your weekend as well. So for the time being, I am meteorologist Ross Mumal. Have a great evening. Take care and stay safe.